All right, so this is another episode, another week where we're doing our Time's Up episode. This week, we're talking about the White Guys Matter show that happened last Wednesday or the Wednesday before. I don't know. It's a White Guys Matter time. So anyway, it's a show that they put on at Yuck Yucks, where white guys, which, by the way, to keep it in context, like mainly white guys headline that club. It's someone put up a statistic that out of 56 weeks, it's 48 white guys headlining the club. So they did a White Guys Matter a show on a Wednesday. A lot of people in the comedy community in Toronto hated it. They said that it was to satirize white guys who complain about white guy problems. Okay, I'm gonna start the clock and then we're gonna jump in. We got 25 minutes. All right, here we go. We're in 25. Here we go. White Guys Matter tour or show. What I think they're going to. So I have Sandra Battaglini, who's been on here before. Sandra, how you doing?
Great. How are you?
And I got B Black again, always here. So yeah, let's get into White Guys Matter. I asked Sandra to do it because you and I had many a conversation online about it during it.
When it was happening, yeah, it was so insane. And, you know, I have my issues with, as so many people do, with Yuck Yucks anyway. And when I saw this, I literally woke up that morning and I saw Danny Mendelow he just posted the White Guys Matter, like the promo. And I was like, Danny just photoshopped a joke. We'll see how this goes. I literally thought it was a joke.
You thought it was a Photoshop joke? Oh my God.
And I was like, Danny, why'd you do this joke for? Like, I was like, this is bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he was actually making the comment that, yeah, this is bad. I thought it was a joke.
He said it was bad?
Yeah, I think his comment, I think when he posted it, I think he did say that. I don't remember though, honestly.
Oh, because he was on the show, I think, and then Alan was telling me to send my fury to him. And I was like, well, none of those guys are chasing windmills. You're the only one. You're the only one looking for dragons, slaying dragons in their windmills. What did you think? Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, B. What did you think?
Man, okay. I'm trying to think at what point did I, because I'm a passive guy. I have to budget my anger, and of course, no, I thought it was a whack idea, and it was like, oh wow, great, another group of white dudes making fun of black dudes black people dying on the street. Like, I wish I could be white. I wish I could be that insensitive to a cause. But I think I have to send a shout outs to Rachel Ellie and Candy Ryan. They're the ones who brought my attention to the show. But when it really bothered me, when it really hit me, is when and it was that post that I put up. Did I tell you about? I was watching. There was a dead squirrel on the street, and I noticed like it was a gray squirrel, and there's a whole bunch of black squirrels around it, and I was looking at the black squirrel, going, "Yo, you fucking guys aren't gonna do anything about it." That's the joke, right?
Yeah.
But then I look at my timeline, and I thought of, and my mind automatically thought about Michael Brown and the 4 hours he spent, like, after he was shot, they left his body on the ground.
Oh, for 4 hours, yeah.
For 4 hours in the heat, because I guess they were trying to figure out their cover-up stories and other.
And order coffee. They got to order coffee and get the food truck out there.
But I was thinking, when did we lose our humanity in that? How unhumane? Like, what's wrong with us as a species? Yeah. And then I remembered the show. Oh, right, the White Guys Matter show. Yeah, and then that's when I put up that post about how A, I wasn't gonna say anything about it, but B, respect to everyone else who has, especially the white allies, like, who've been a pain in the ass for the show. Like, I love the fact that even though it might have been full, but but they had a headache to make that show happen.
Yeah,
and that's mainly where I'm from. But yeah, like I said, I don't like to let my stupid shit white dudes do raise my blood pressure.
Well, I wasn't angry at the show. I wasn't angry at the people on the show. I just thought the title was stupid. I thought insensitive and stupid. Like, I'm not shocked that they did it. Like, it doesn't shock me.
Not shocked. You're right.
No, The caucasity of white people doesn't shock me. I just go, oh yeah, of course you did that. And
exactly.
So, I'm like, okay, of course you did that. But what bothered me was like afterward, like with Alan, like someone did Tracy Aaron. What's her Tracy Aaron Smith? Is that her name? She wrote a review, and it was just got published, and now it's fucking horrible. And where yeah, that's the one I shared. There was two of them. We talked about the other one before, but this one was, she was like, no one's an ally to white supremacists and Nazis, and she was in favor of the show. No one's an ally to white supremacists.
Oh yeah. You don't read any good articles about how to be a good ally to white supremacists. Yeah, I never looked at it that way. I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
I just thought it was so, like, the fact that a white woman posts a review about White Guys Matter show. Like, the irony in that bullshit. I was like, what are you even talking about right now?
And she said in the article that she went to the show with people of color.
I know the way that she when she said that, she's like, this person was a person of color, and I was like, oh my god, so you're even like itemizing this group of people you went to a show with, like it was
like a sociopath. Like that's what a sociopath does. I was here with a person of color.
Oh, look at you! Wow, man. You should come in on what is that called? I can't think. You know when they used to bring kings and queens on?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, but yes, on a, I don't know. I'm lost too.
Almost a caravan.
Caravan. Yeah, there should be a whole. You should have people throwing rose petals at your feet as you walk in. Like, thank you for clearing this whole issue up, Tracy Aaron Smith.
You're right. Yeah. So the show was great. Like, no, to me, it really made me angry because to me it was like, okay, Yuck Yucks put this on. At the end of the day, Yuck Yucks produced this show, and it was just another nail. Like, it was just another nail in the coffin of a company that's like, systematically since its inception been abusive towards comics. And this was just another really sinister, subversive, like, nail against their own comics, because they have, that's black comics are part of their roster. And they were like, there were comics who actually messaged Breslin before the show, weeks before the show, saying, don't do the show or put me on, and he disregarded it. So to me, that's what really pissed me off. I have so many issues with Yuck Yucks, period, the way that they consistently are abusive towards comics or unfair towards comics. I just was like, this is insane that they allowed this to happen. And look what it did. It just got all of us fighting. Yeah. It's the classic distraction. I'm making this up principle, but it is. It's like they distract us from the fact that these people keep, keep being allowed to operate in this way.
Oh, I talked to a Yucks guy, a black Yucks guy. I won't say names, but he was saying that, basically it's like Breslin doesn't give a fuck about comedy. He doesn't give a fuck about us. He just lays his shit and tries to be famous and then walks away from it. He's like, here, I'm going to put my shit down, and then the whole community's fighting, and he just walks away, and it's fuck you. I don't care. I don't care what this does to anybody. Yeah.
It's such and to me, it's like, one of the people inside of Yuck Yucks has been working to, make the lineups more diverse, have more women, and I'm like, what? This just shows like he doesn't give a shit about that.
Yeah. That
there are people inside the company trying to make things more diverse. Like, I quit in January because he told the office not to book me because I was working the corner. Yeah. And I don't want to make it about the fact that I'm a woman or not, but just before all this went down, I was, I received an email from Yuck's head office and it was to all the women saying, please sign up. We don't have, I was at a show last week downtown, and it was all white, straight men, talking about their dick. I'm not saying everyone talks about their dicks.
Their white dicks and how their white dicks can't get jobs anymore.
Yeah, I don't mind when people talk about their dicks.
Yeah, I know.
But when you ask me to sign up because there's not enough women, and then you turn around and punish me for working another club that pays $20, that's where you go wrong. That's where you're saying, Like you're actually pushing me out. You're pushing you're pushing me out. I'm a woman. Like do you know what I mean? You're pushing the people you claim to help, but you're not helping them because you continue to, pick at them. You continue to poke at them.
It's all surface. It's all surface. It's all like, oh, we're helping you, but really you're not helping me at all. You don't want me to do stand up.
There's the appearance helping.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like if you're telling me I can't get a spot at your club, but then I go to another club and you fire me, you're saying I don't want you doing I don't mind you not doing stand up with us, but you can't do stand up with anyone else.
Yeah. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Like this doesn't make any sense. So it was like, yeah, that whole thing really, I don't know. It really, like, I literally woke up on Thursday morning, I guess 2 weeks ago, where I was like, I think I hate stand-up comedians. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, that's silly. But just because of the way that, like, it's such classic behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Because we live in Canada where the stand-up industry, like, what industry is it? And all we do is fight for scraps. And then Yuck Yucks throws out this shit.
Let me ask you a question, because one of the promoters the promoter on the show for here said that they do it in New York and they never have a problem with it.
Yeah, I heard about that.
What do you guys think of that?
Go look at I sent you the link to the show.
Okay.
To the graphic of the show. Take a look.
Yeah.
Which one? The current one? Or
I didn't send you a link. I sent it to Gavin. I don't have your
But what do you? But like, without me looking, I'm looking at the link now. But without that, what do you guys think?
I don't give a shit.
Oh yeah, I see. It's like they got bread, white bread, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, so that's the passport. The first one they did, the one they did in New York.
No, yeah, it's a photo of Kevin Brennan, and it's like they got a piece of bread, and it said "White Guys Matter" comedy tour.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. No, here's the thing. I think I forgot the part that really bothered me about the show was afterwards being surrounded by people saying "lighten up." I was like, hey, look. If you want to do the show, if you want to do racist shit or whatever, go ahead and do it.
Yeah, but here's the thing about the graphic you just showed me. It's not really offensive. I mean, it's like,
I know
it kind of makes fun of those people that are like, oh, because you use the white bread and shit like that. It's and it doesn't say it's white guys talking. Like Toronto put too much shit on it.
Yeah,
they put too much on it, and the one that I'm looking at, Kevin Brennan, like, I mean, I'm like, I wouldn't go see it, and I wouldn't be upset with it.
Hey,
when I look at that ad,
it's still weak. It's not
still
strong.
weak.
It's still weak, but it doesn't offend like this did.
No.
And you know what? When people are like it went on in New York, I don't give a shit. Do I give a shit what happened in New York? Like,
yeah.
I hate the way that people think, oh, it happened in the States, so they're better.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we should accept that.
Yeah, well, that's silencing. That's just like, shut the fuck up. You live
because America's really figured racism out. Eh?
They're doing and politics. They're doing. You mean the country that voted for Trump? I should look to them for advice. Like
and it was like that whole argument. Like, to me, I thought if they would have the white bread, okay, like they could have done something funny and called it "White Guy Matters."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Oh, white bread.
Oh, that would, yeah.
But that's still, at the end of the day, leave it alone.
Yes.
Just fucking do something else, you stupid fucks.
Put a comma after guys. Just put a comma. White guys matter. So now you're talking about their matters. You're not talking like they could have done a whole bunch of, because even that ad is like as I'm like, but it's not offensive. Like, it's not. I'm not saying that they were offensive, but it's not. I bet you they would get less, because the white bread does a lot of shit and it changes things. It becomes like you're making fun of white people in a way. It becomes a different thing. The Neil Brennan, and it doesn't say anything about this is a tour for white guys to talk about white problems and sexism. It doesn't say any of that shit.
Yeah. And listen, that's the whole thing. It's like, and so I was talking to this one comic who now lives in New York, who's Canadian, and says, she goes, that was a shitty title. And I was like, yeah, it was, it was. And I go, Yuck Yucks is, is really a disgusting institution. She's like, well, but they give more opportunity to people of color and women stage time. I go, oh, do you mean like everywhere. Like, I wasn't sure she meant the States too. She's like, no. New York is more advanced. And then I was like, actually, this show started in New York. This show happened in New York. And she's like, really? Oh, wow. I can't believe it. And I was like, why do you think you guys are better? Like, what is this even? Look for ourselves.
Yeah, I know. It's like our country's way better. It's a way better. But there's this an illusion of America being they set the standard. They set the standard of good relations with people. You mean the people still fighting over abortion? That one?
I know, and it's like, listen, I don't know. I just think using the fact. Look, you're saying, oh, because they do it in America, it's okay to do here. It's all context.
Yeah.
If you have people like there were people internally at Yuck Yucks. Executive people who are like, don't put this show on.
Yeah.
It was not just that. It was the comics saying, please don't put this show on. Well, and then you turn around and put this show on. You're a racist. You're being a dick.
So what do you guys think of the satire angle? Like, is it – because I have an opinion on that, but I want to hear what you guys think about that whole – the idea of that it's supposed to be satire, but like the ad didn't look like like it doesn't read as satire. But, knowing the guys – well, knowing three of them, I'm like, they're not. They haven't done anything to me. I don't see them as racist or homophobic or anything. From just what I know, I can't speak on anybody else. Only one of them I can speak on. The one I'm convinced is, but the other ones I don't. But like, what did you guys think it was satire?
I don't know about the satire portion. Like, okay, maybe it was, or it wasn't, whatever. But I will say they just found. Remember when South Park wanted to draw the picture of Muhammad, and then a bunch of Muslims flipped out over it, and it gave them great promotion. Mm-hmm. I think this was like maybe satire for them, but this was we're gonna draw a picture of Muhammad. To promote. What did I say?
No, I know. I was just repeating what you said.
Draw a picture of Muhammad. Like this is what it was for them. Like, hey, we don't care what movement is attached to it, but hey. This shit will get some asses in some seats for us.
But saying that, I don't
see for their target audience it's satire, but I think it's more it was a promotional. Hey, we need the free promo, and we need to use your outrage to make it happen.
But who's the target audience for this show?
White dudes who feel like one. I didn't know that white dudes felt self-pity. That shocked me. That's what I learned from the event. So I think white dudes who feel bad about themselves, who feel like the world's against them, that's what this show was for them.
So then it's not satire.
English is my second language. I'm gonna have to look.
No, I'm not debating you. I'm just like I don't know who the target because I don't see black people going. Like I don't see black people go. I guess they said it was multiracial, but I don't see this targeting black people.
I see a black dude going. I see a black dude who, hey, I don't feel sensitive to shit that other black people feel sensitive about, so I'm special.
Exactly. I can see that black person, but how many, is that a whole demographic that, because these people don't, when they look at demographic, when they're advertising, they see us as a monolith. And they see everyone like a monolith. White people are this and black people are this.
Right.
Excuse me, I don't know, Sandra, do you feel like they're, who?
That idea, the fact that they said that it was satire shows that they don't know what satire is.
Yeah.
They have no idea. I love when people use that. I've used it before sometimes where I'm like, oh, I was just trying to be satirical, which I was, but it's like, I've studied satire. I've worked with people who are masters of satire, like Clown and Buffon, and that is not fucking satire. What they did was not satire.
Yeah. So
to use that was just a crutch to make them seem like as though they were intellectual about this, but they were not.
Yeah.
Well, because when B, and I'm not saying B is speaking for them, but when B says their market, which I kind of agree, are white people who are like, hey, I want to hear my problems. Then you aren't you is it where's the satire in that? I don't understand. I mean, maybe you don't expect to get white supremacists, but I mean, it's It feels like it's a hop, skip, and a jump.
Satire would have been if they put black people on that show, and then everyone would have been like, they would have got even more bums in seats, and it would have really been a great thing if they did that.
Maybe that's a show that we should do. Like we do a White Guys Matter show, and then put all black comics on it.
See, that kind of shit makes me nervous.
Because
white people flip out over that kind of shit, man. Hold on, man. Yeah, man. White dudes don't handle L's too well, man. They don't handle losses too well. They tend to flip out and burn crosses and.
But we're in Toronto. We're in Toronto. They're not gonna burn crosses in Toronto. They'll knock your latte out of your hand.
Like that white kid who shut up that mosque there in Quebec there.
Yeah. That's I sent you guys that article by accident, but yeah, that's what I'm saying is like reading that article about, and I guess it was Vice did a report about that kid that's shooting up all those places. Apparently he was heavily into a lot of these sort of, it's like alt-light, they call it, not alt-right, but alt-light. It's like borderline, you know what I mean? And that's what this show I'm not saying that's their intention, but the titling fits with the, Proud Boys, borderline, we're almost racist, but we're not racist. Yeah, we're saying the words, but, we're not getting the tattoos.
That's what makes it so weak. It's just like, satire is a very, the art of satire is an old practice, and so when you claim that you're doing satire and you don't even know what satire is, it's like they just end up looking stupid. They just end up looking more stupid. What? They had a real opportunity and they wasted it.
Yeah, especially when one of their comics is like complaining about white guys not being able to say shit, and then complaining about a black comic's white parents and shit like that. That what is it like? That you need to have your story straight. Like when you ever remember that Wire? Do you guys watch The Wire?
Hell yeah! Sorry.
Okay, remember that scene? It's like it was like an opening scene where they have two different perps in two different boxes, and then they're like talking to each one, and then the one goes, "Well, he's already flipping on you. He's already, they're ready." And then he walks by, and they're being nice to the other guy, and he walks by with McDonald's, and the guy's like, "That motherfucker!" And then he rats on him.
He sold you out.
He sold you out. And so it's like you have to have your story straight. If it's going to be satire, everyone's got to be on board with this shit. You can't have one guy screaming, "Hey, why can I speak about your white parents? Is it because I'm white?" And then it's like, well, come on.
Yeah. That was my intelligence, man.
Exactly.
The fact that they put on a show called White Guys Matter says so much about how white guys can say anything.
Yeah.
Because if that would have been the reverse, and it was like somehow, it would have been such a different story. So the fact that they put on a show, that people showed up, that people are writing reviews, says everything about how white guys can say whatever the fuck they want.
But Sandra, not even that. You can't even get on a weekday. You can't even get on a weekday. They can do a White Guys Matter show and do whatever they want. They can do that, but you can't get a weekday spot. So you're not even we're not even at the point where we could put on a show that's satirical about whatever. We can't even get the spot.
I got banned. I mean, I got I was told not to be booked. Like, this is fucked up shit.
Well, you know what I mean? That's what kills me, is because I've also heard comics talk about censorship, and I'm like, I don't think there's a censorship issue. I think you're conflating an issue. Like when they say, well, you didn't come down and see the show. If you knew the guys, I'm like, well, nobody has a problem with the show, and nobody has a problem with the comics. People have a problem with the title. That's a whole different thing. I don't need to go to the show to understand the comics to not have a problem with the title. The title's the problem. And the way it's advertised is the problem.
And that's really it. Like, I told you that story about how Stratford was putting on a play, an Italian play, and there were no Italians cast, maybe one, and the two leads were white people, and the poster was these two leads like with money in their hand and sausage in their pants. And this is like a play from Italy that was like post-war. The author is celebrated, like, he's so respected. He's a real artist. And then Stratford decides, well, we're going to do this play, but we're going to make the imagery really racist. And when some of the like there's a couple of like, people in our community, in the Italian community, who just happen to be constitutional lawyers. When they got wind of it, they basically told Stratford, if you don't take this down, we're going to sue you.
Yeah.
That's his constitutional lawyer. That's what he does for a living.
Yeah.
And his wife, that's what they do. Like, this is all. I'm surprised that the Black Lives Matter movement, I'm still waiting for it.
I think the Black Lives Matter movement isn't as connected to the comedy scene as I think like if this was an LGBTQ movement, and because I think when like the Nubian show isn't the black, I mean, I'm sure there's crossover. I don't really play the Nubian show, but I don't think it's as strong because we're not prominent in the comedy scene in Canada. It's not as strong as the LGBTQ community. So that's what I'm not surprised they didn't say anything. I don't think it was on their radar.
I think that's why I think like somebody reached out to them and said, "Hey, look at this. This is just like it's like that." I was looking up. It's like that Anti-Defamation League. If they would have called it, I don't know, if they would have called it something that was like inflammatory. Let's say to another genocide, like the Holocaust. Yeah. The Defamation League would have shut them down. It would have been like, you can't make those arguments. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Well, if the show was, the bus, what are those kids that died on the bus? That horrific tragedy.
Bring that up. Yeah.
If it was that, and it was like, oh, black people don't play hockey, and that's the satirical joke. How do you think people would react fucking horribly to that?
Oh, definitely. There used to be a time where I thought that, and this is just growing up in Canadian culture, but I used to think that white Canadians held nothing sacred until I saw there was an outroar. Some kid took a picture of himself during Canada Day urinating on the memorial statue, and all laugh and everything, right?
Jesus.
And that shit created an outrage, and I was like, okay, all right, the memories of their soldiers, that you make fun of. That's something they hold sacred. Because the reason I said that is because every time I kept trying to explain, hey, look, I can't laugh at, I don't know, you making fun of slavery. I can't laugh at all these things that was dear to me, and I was trying to explain to a white guy why I can't laugh at it because he thought it was funny. I kept saying, well, what if I made fun of your wife, having sex with your wife, something like that. He goes, oh, I find it funny too. Like, okay. In my mind, I'm like, okay, well, I guess there's nothing sacred.
No, the only thing sacred is being called a racist. That's the fear.
Right. That's the line.
That's the line.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Take it easy, buddy. Whoa,
yeah,
whoa.
That's what, and I'll say his name, Alan Park, is he doesn't want to be told. Sorry, I'm sorry to throw you guys under the bus with this. But he doesn't want to be told what to do, but he wants to be able to do whatever he wants. But he doesn't want you to call him a racist.
Is he's the blackface Obama guy?
Yeah, he's blackface Obama guy.
Oh, I kept reading that. I'm like, yo, and he's on the lineup.
Yeah.
Talking about, ain't shit racist
about,
Yeah,
and I was in his corner, and now I'm not. And I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm Sandra, I'm like you at this point. I don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah, and I just think, like, exactly. It's just like, I have nothing... I don't want to be against, like, those comics have made me laugh. Everybody on that show has made me laugh so many times in my life. And I, I would never, it had nothing to do with them doing the show or, but it had everything to do with how they marketed it. And all they had to do was just say, hey, man, sorry, this was really done in poor taste. And we apologize. And then shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Hey. I was saying that to get. Sorry.
No. That's what I mean. And just stop talking about it. But they didn't do that.
No.
They keep talking about it, and they keep talking about it.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just a classic. It's classic when you're in the wrong. The person who did something wrong or untruthful. That's how they react because they don't want to admit where they said a lie. That show, that title, it was all it's a lie. It's like. It's all a lie. To say it's satire, no, you're shutting us down. Those are all lies. Yeah. How is anybody shutting you down? Nobody shut you down. Like, in fact...
Hey, did they sell out?
No, I did 3/4.
For a Wednesday night, it was good. Like, it was well attended, apparently.
Yeah. Okay. I see, here's my thing with that is, like, if you're going to cause this much turmoil and go and, like, do some harm to your brand as a brand with this, and like, okay, well, this is what we're gonna be now. You should have a sold out fucking around the block lineup. Like, there's no reason. Like, if you're 3/4 full, that means meh. Nobody really picked up on it. You might have got 10 extra people. That's what that means. Yeah, from a regular Wednesday, you got 20 extra people.
And the truth is, though, that like really, it just makes, like, I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed when all this happened. I was like, really, this is what we're doing here? Like, wow, we're killing it. And it just, honestly, I was embarrassed, and it just doesn't look good on them. At the end of the day, it made them look not good. And really, that's what it was. Because when you look from the outside and you look and you're like, ugh, really? This is what you're up to? Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, what a satirical situation you guys created here. No one's gonna say that. No one's gonna respect it. I don't even think the people on the show can respect it. Yeah. Even though they want to defend it, they can't respect it.
Honestly, I've seen most of them not defending the title. I see most of them doing that. I have to give them credit for that. I see most of them, even Alan didn't defend it, but he just upset that he can't say what he wants.
But that's the stupid thing. It's like, okay, then leave it. Just say, yeah, it was a terrible title. Move on. Yeah. Like, I notice when I get in I notice how it works on Facebook. If you say something on Facebook, you're going to get response. Like, you're going to cause a controversy when you start typing those words, depending on how you say things. Yeah. And I really avoid that at all costs most of the time, because if I want to post something and maybe, make not a diss, but highlight something that I find is like unjust, I'm going to be thoughtful about it. But all that discussion is not thoughtful discussion.
No, it's anger.
I was thinking about the concept of people or the people who complain about, hey, PC culture, I can't say what I want, anything. And I'm realizing how many of these people are good listeners. Yeah. What I mean by that is that it's not that you can't say what you want to say. It's you don't want to stick around for the response. Like, I'm part of this group. I'm part of a Toastmaster group, and I made the theme 420 because we're not allowed doing edgy stuff, having edgy topics or whatever, right? Because our club's closing, I said, fuck it, let me risk it. And I was talking to one about, it would be cool if we could have a club where we could do speeches about edgy shit. The problem why we can't do it is because your listener will be so distracted by the controversy that they're not going to take the time to look at your presentation skills and all that. And that's what I realized, that the problem with saying stuff that's not politically correct, it's your listener, is the fact that they're not going to stick around to figure out why it's a problem. No, they're just going to stick around to figure out that, hey, I can't say what the fuck I want to say. I can't say your mother's fat, your kids ain't shit, the way I want to be able to communicate it. You know what I mean? Like, come on, human decency. What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly, because you can say whatever you want. That's you can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
I think because we're talking about a platform, like it's just this screen on our computers where the other person really isn't there. I mean, virtually they're there. So, like, can you imagine these conversations going on, in public? Like, people.
Oh, yeah.
Your mother would, well, not that mothers slap their kids in the face now, but you know what I mean? Your mother would slap you in the face for being that rude.
Yeah.
When people are so inflammatory and awful. Like, if that conversation and those fights happened for real, people would have broke up the fight. They're like, okay, guys, this is really out of hand. Yeah. We're done here. Uh-huh. But online, it just goes to sheer insanity. That's why most of those conversations, often are just, you can't even comprehend them.
Yeah. We went over like 10 minutes, so I'm gonna. No, it was great. I didn't want to stop it. You guys were making great points. I was actually gonna jump in and make another point, and I'm like, there's no need. But you guys made some. This was a great episode. It's gonna go up to tomorrow. It's gonna go up unedited. That's how we do it on these episodes. So I know, B, that you are trying to get into the X, but I'm sure. I can't promise anything, but I know we did talk about yucks. But you didn't say anything. I don't know if you're worried, or I don't know if you're stressed.
Oh, no, not at all. But something you guys said, that this wrestling guy, I'm thinking about his legacy. Not that I want him dead, but I'm saying, like, when he dies, they're not going to talk about him like we talked about Mike McDonald's kind of thing.
No, I think peripheral, like outside of the community, some people might, but most people who are not going to be like, oh yeah. Yeah, I think people are waiting for that place to shut down, honestly.
Wow. Even in Ottawa, too.
I think they are. I think a lot of people are just waiting for it to shut down.
I hope Daryl, I mean, I don't know Daryl Lennox personally, but I hear that deal is still on the table.
Oh, is it?
That once it gets cheap enough, he'll buy it. And I'm like, I mean, I would hope that if he did, I think it would turn it around. But it's like,
maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe doing this cheapens the show for them.
Yeah, but then what's Daryl Lennox gonna, like? This brand is worthless. Like, especially after last week, to me, like, it really. I mean, this whole thing just really was upsetting because I'm so mad at Yucks and all the stuff I'm working on. I just see this constant I just constantly see how the stand-up industry in this country is so fucked up.
Yeah,
it's so fucked up.
Yeah, because you're seeing it like up close.
Yeah, because and you know what, like B, I know Gavin, you were saying like that maybe he's worried about speaking out. Like I was having the same conversation. I go, look, you can still say to Yucks, I want to perform, and still talk out about it. Mm-hmm. Because you have the right to a fair and equitable workplace. Mm-hmm. And that's what this is what I've been finding, like, I'm maybe frustrating because I've been vocal about how I feel about the way that they treat people, and I don't take it back because I'm like, why are we afraid to talk about them? Because we're afraid to lose a job? What job? What job are people giving us?
That's beautiful. No, that was beautiful.
All right, I'm gonna stop this one. We can continue talking, but I'm gonna stop this one. This has been great. Thanks, Sandra. Thanks, B.